better, too. But, just for example, Toby Part 3, Doom or Destiny, the ending of that would never work for for a dragon, because dragons are not going to work as house pets. I mean, anybody who's ever read Jeremy Thatcher Dragon Hatcher can tell you that. So, that affected it, and from there everything else progressed. And there are just little elements that influence the plot here and there, and sometimes bigger things that change it. One of the differences, though, that was right there from the start, Pete, who I don't have a profile yet, so I haven't stated this before, I don't think, but Toby's dragon counterpart, or in my books, had an older brother who obviously is Pete's parallel, and the difference between them is that Pete is most of the time just a jerk. I mean, there are times when he does something diabolical, like in Pup Problems, when he and his gang tried to set up Loki as a decoy so they could raid the butcher shop, knowing full well that Loki could be killed in the process. But most of the time, Pete is just a pain in the tail. Whereas his dragon counterpart is out and out evil. I mean, he was going for murder from book 1. His ultimate fate will be a key point of the final book in what I plan to be a series of 7 or 10. I haven't decided which. Right now I only have plots for 3 or 4, so I've got some work to do either way.
Yeah. Do you like it when other people make their own interpretations of Toby, like fan art or fan images or fanfics or stuff like that?
Yeah, I'd have to say, all the stuff I've seen so far has been very good. The level of skill varies, of course, but so far I haven't seen an interpretation of them that I didn't like.
Sounds good. Oh, okay. I'm in your fanfic gallery, and there's an exhaustive list of stuff for you to that you say you're going to do. We talked about some of them already. Actually, it mentions that this is not an exhaustive list, so I should probably take that back. We talked about just beginning, deleted scenes, Toby Recharge, Fallen Angel, no, Fallen Star.
Yeah, I should probably edit that now that that's up.
So I guess there's a few more that we haven't talked about yet. White Legend Reborn. I read the first one. Oh my freaking goodness, I loved it.
White Legend... wait, what? White Legend?
Yeah, White Legend. I love that one.
Yeah, I like how that's coming along.
So, right? White Legend Reborn. Enhanced narrative, added scenes, and improved dialogue. Like you've never seen it before. Don't just read it, live it. Do you care to elaborate on what you mean by all that?
About the enhanced narrative and so on?
Yeah.
Well, for instance, a lot of the stuff that previously was just described, kind of skimmed over. Now I go back and double that, and cover that in detail. For instance, I don't think I've posted the chapter for this yet, but in the previous version, and I'll try not to give too much away. What I do give away, of course, will be calculated to make people want to read and find out what's going on. It was necessary for Naya to feign interest in a wolf who really she wanted to avoid like the plague. And this dog friend of hers, Kodan, and out of simple loyalty, he promised to watch from hiding and make sure everything went okay. And before that was just kind of briefly described, and she really skimmed over the time she spent with this other wolf, just saying that whenever he asked her to go places with him, she would agree. Anything beyond that, she turned down, feigning bashfulness. And that Kodan, that's her friend's name, reassured her that she was doing a good job. And in her words, I noticed that he tended to twitch when he said this, as if he was somehow bothered. But I just really briefly described that before. And in White Legend Reborn, I go back and describe it in great detail. Let's see. Oh wait, that's right. I'm not going to find it online because I don't have it up yet.
Yeah, you could always put it up. I'm sure nobody would mind.
Well, it's not ready yet.
I think we'll be even happy for half of a draft. But anyway.
Let me find a good spot that won't give away too much.
Okay.
Alright, here's a part with her talking to Kodan. And with the black wolf to my back, I walked up to Kodan. We need to talk, I muttered under my breath. I glanced to see if anyone was listening before returning my attention to him. The plan. He nodded solemnly. I understand. Let's go. We headed off into the woods, making for a rarely visited part of the territory. Rocky terrain reduced foliage and therefore prey to them, but few of the hollows were suitable for sleeping or birthing dens. We found a spot on one of the snow-covered boulders, high enough to give us a good vista of the surrounding area. He spoke first. Had to get away from Kava? Yes! I exclaimed, the word coming out as though I had been underwater and was desperate for air. I thought he was bad before, but now that I'm encouraging him, he's completely insufferable. Even from him, I can't believe some of the advances I've had to endure. Kodan nodded. Believe me, I saw. I wanted to kill him for some of those comments he made about you myself. After a long pause, he added in a more somber tone, If it's any comfort, you put on a convincing act. I was almost fooled once or twice. I noticed he twitched as he spoke, as if he were deeply agitated. Don't worry, I assured him. Given the choice, I would rather die than let him touch me again. His eyes grew wide. Don't say that, he nearly snapped. I know he's bad, but I don't want you talking about it that way. I was surprised by the outburst. I'm sorry, he stammered. I didn't mean to upset you. His eyes were wide, upset, almost desperate. Then he managed to recover his composure. I'm sorry, he said, lowering his head. I know I shouldn't yell like that, especially now, but please don't talk that way. I won't, I promise. Good. He looked me in the eye then, and his expression was serious, but not severe. The way I had sometimes seen Father talk to Mother about something important. Anayu, you're the best friend I have in this pack. Maybe the only one. It scares me when you talk like you're thinking about killing yourself. I have to admit I was touched by his dedication, overblown as it was. Not your only friend, I assured him. My parents think very highly of you, and so do several members of the pack. He shook his head. Your folks, maybe. I could even believe that the beta, Taro, thinks I'm all right. But the others... He shook his head, gazing down and a little to one side. I see it in their eyes, Anayu. They look at me a lot like humans did back in Rome, like I'm some kind of pet or maybe a really talented young pup. They think I'm good, and they know I saved Kava's life. They recognize my value. I don't know if they'll ever see me as a real equal, a member of the pack. I smiled then. and on the spur of the moment I stepped forward until we were almost nose to nose, looking each other directly in the eyes. I do, I told him. Whatever happens, I believe in you. I always will. He took a deep breath and looked away. Thanks. I hope I can live up to that. And that's a sample of the improved narrative. Consider that all basically started off as the only thing that kept me going was Kodan's reassurances that I was doing a good job. I noticed he tended to twitch when he said this, as if he were bothered. So you can see that there's a definite expansion there, I'd say.
Yeah, I got a whole lot of stuff that I definitely hadn't picked up in reading the original.
Well, there was stuff that wasn't there, too. For instance, I mentioned Kodan having saved Kava's life. That was actually a scene I meant to write into the original, but I forgot to put it there until it was too late. It had already been posted. So I went back when I was redoing the story and incorporated it there.
Interesting.
Oh, you mentioned a question from Ahura earlier. That reminds me. In case he hasn't told you yet, the project that he and I had going and then canceled, we reconciled on the matter, or more or less. We're going to pick up where we left off with the project, but it's going to be at a later date, owing to the fact that right now I'm kind of slumped. But for those who were looking forward to Ahura and me co-authoring a fanfic, it's going to happen at some point.
Well, that's encouraging.
Yeah, we have our disagreements about a lot of things, but I definitely respect him, and let's face it, I can't think of anyone with more skill at this particular kind of writing.
Okay. And back to your gallery, it looks like there's two more things you've mentioned. Road Rovers, Treacherous Waters, and an unrelated anthrofic inspired by you, that you got while, an idea that you got while writing Balto's Treasure Island.
Unrelated to Balto's Treasure Island, I think that might actually be the project that I decided to include Ahura on. I don't know if you want... I guess you were looking for some information on that. I don't think he'd mind if I outlined the basic plot. It's pretty much a mystery story. In this one, and it's not set in Nome like most Balto stories would be. It's set more or less in an Anytown, USA kind of place, referred to as Midvale. And in this story, I can't remember where I got the idea for this, but, I remember where I got the basic plot. It was from a book series called Bloodhounds Incorporated. In this story, the town, populated by humanoid dogs, suddenly comes under attack by a bizarre rash of break-ins. What makes these break-ins so strange is that all the clues seem to point to the burglars being vampires. And through a series of circumstances which I won't say too much about because it would give details away, Balto and Jenna, who are actually teachers by trade in this story, and in case anyone's wondering about their relationship status, they're dating, which does feed somewhat into the story as well. Okay. They decide to investigate the matter for themselves, and the question is, Will they find the answer before the vampires find